So if it passes the Assembly and passes the University Council, then they're gone.
So the seat becomes vacated. Would the person that was removed be eligible to run in a secondary election to fill the vacated seat?
I believe they may, but any other questions? Yep.
What is the relationship of this document with the all-campus constitution?
So
and
this would,
the
yeah.
compiled code? If you could maybe present a schematic on how those three documents
Yeah, sure. So, okay, so this is the all-campus constitution. The ballot question that we're trying to get on the ballot by petition states, should all text on pages 2 to 25 of this document of the all-campus constitution be struck and replaced with this guy? So we're getting rid of the old constitution and putting in a new constitution. That's the new thing. The compiled code, so this is actually the beauty of this new document. The compiled code, as you guys probably know, is completely off the wall. It used to be a compiled code of legislation, as it should be, but basically what happened is they made it sort of like a quasi set of bylaws a couple of years ago. So the idea here is that we will still have a compiled code in this under this new system. However, it will be a compiled code of legislation. But the Assembly will also establish operating procedures. And those operating procedures will function much like the compiled code does right now. And those operating procedures may change with a majority vote of the Assembly, which means that the Assembly at any given time will have the ability to change its operating procedures subject to some change in campus culture that might indicate a need to change those. So the idea is to keep the power within the current Assembly and allow for those who are governing themselves at Michigan to do so effectively.
Hello?
Yes.
So why is that called the all-campus constitution? Is that just semantics, or what? Is there a difference?
So it was called the All-Campus Constitution because when in 1986 it was ratified, that was the name of it. The new name that we have proposed here is a little bit long-winded but a little bit more to the point. Constitution of the Student Body of the Ann Arbor Campus.
Even the old one only applies to Ann Arbor?
What was that?
The all-campus constitution
Yes.
only applies
It
to Ann
only
Arbor?
applies to students at Ann Arbor now and only will in the future.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, thanks. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, a question to follow up on the relation between the Constitution and compiled code.
Yes.
It seems that you would like to replace the compiled code with a new version, but from my understanding, there's not a currently written new compiled code. So what would be the startup to this new compiled code? Would you start with the old one? Would you write a new one from scratch? And in either case, whose responsibility would that be? Would that be the immediate election assembly or the first assembly under this new constitution?
So, Pat, I'd like to direct your attention to line 271, which is Article 5, which deals with ratification, transition, and amendments. Underneath this section, in Section 1, we have ratification. Basically, the minute that this is basically voted on by the student body underneath the current Constitution, this would become the Constitution, but at the same time, it does allow for a one-year transition period to occur. So the idea is that the new Assembly that's coming in this March will have the ability to see through the transition as they see fit. So that means probably writing these documents and making sure that everything's in order and transitioning in little bits. It could also mean that they just wait for a year and do it all at once. I mean, it's completely up to the new Assembly. We felt that as members of the student group, we should leave it up to the government itself to self-regulate during the transition. We felt that would be better than mandating certain changes in certain months. You're welcome. Yes.
If when it goes on the ballot,
Yeah.
I guess there's nothing saying that it has to be kind of all or nothing. Like you vote up or down the entire changes, right?
It is. It's a yes or no.
It's a yes or no.
So
there's no way to separate out. Like, let's say
No.
I agreed with everything except for that one part. You know.
No, there's not. So the idea is so the text on the ballot question that you'll be voting yes or no on, if this goes up on the ballot, is should the text be replaced to basically with this new constitution. That's where we're at.
So there would be a some kind of meeting or something to, okay, it would be that text and then it would be, this would be attached so that people would be able to link. Would there be a summary?
Yeah, there's going to be a link on the website. So when we're getting the petitions, we always have the two documents with us. so everyone can read them and sign the sheet. And underneath, like, the actual ballot question, there will be a link to both the old and the current, the current and the proposed constitution. So all the information will be provided.
Just one more question.
Sure.
Just, there's a meeting on Friday, is that true? Or-
Yes, there will be a meeting on, actually it's going to be on Thursday night. I have to change it because I'm going to be in Chicago. But I'm more than happy to sit down for a cup of coffee or anything, so please give me a call. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I took 25 minutes.
Sorry. Anything else for Mike? All right, moving on. Item B, new business. Winter 10-15, Michelle, if you want to just talk about this. Yeah.
I think I voted to bid this half the table.
Oh.
Oh.
Which one?
We never get.
Yeah, we never got it.
DC children. We use it to rip up the ballots. Okay, so I'll start speaking as the resolution is coming around in the interest of time. So a couple of points I want to make as someone who's been really involved with this since November. You know, I've tried to keep the assembly up to date with my exec reports whenever there's been an update. I believe last time I said, look out for a resolution coming up. Abhishek and I have been really involved in this process, and I just kind of want to take you through how it's evolved to where it is right now. First of all, yes, this is a lot of money. We understand. The fact of the matter is, like the gentleman from Big Ticket Productions said when they came in and spoke to the assembly, without this kind of money, we can't put on a concert. That's why it hasn't happened in so many years. Unless you've been at this university for more than 4 years, which I don't think most of us have unless you're a grad student or a fifth-year senior, you haven't seen MSA, you haven't seen MSA put on a concert. It did happen the year before I was a freshman with Ludacris, and yes, that was a complete fiasco from what I hear. Now, we've sat down and we've spoken about how this is going to be different from that year. From that year, from what I've heard, the biggest issue was that it was not marketed. There was no proper marketing blitz or advertising effort made to actually make this happen. So what we've done is we've kind of preempted that this year by already sitting down with our chair and vice chair of the communications committee. Big Ticket Productions has marketing people of their own. The plan is that you know, we're going to combine forces and do something huge in terms of a marketing blitz. Some of those ideas, I don't want to get too far into that, but some of those ideas are to have a day where there's like a three battles, like a breakdancing battle, a freestyle battle, and a b-boy battle, and each winner of those would get a pair of free tickets. Things to bring out kind of people who are interested in music, and because this is specifically hip-hop music, to come out and get interested, to get involved. The second thing is that we're subsidizing this for students. The tickets to the general public will probably be between $35 and $40. Tickets to students are going to be between $15 and $20. If you have any knowledge of these three artists, that's a steal. And what we felt is that we really haven't done a good job of presenting an all-campus concert with a subsidized ticket for students. We feel like that's our job is to put on events for students. We really haven't done that on a grand scale yet, and this we hope is to be the first of some to come. Also, Big Ticket Productions, the group that we're working with, has that exact same goal in mind. So when this process started, there was actually 4 organizations that were sitting down and meeting about potentially collaborating to throw this huge concert. Now, 2 of them dropped out just because their missions were not aligned with ours in terms of, we want to throw this concert for the students. We're not interested in getting our money back. We're not interested in making revenue. We want student tickets to be cheaper than tickets to the rest of the general public. And so that just left us and Big Ticket Productions as the last 2 standing. And actually, the proposed amount that we were going to spend, this $25,000 that's been in sponsored activities, hasn't changed. We just reeled back a little bit on the artists that we're getting. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is, you know, our involvement going forward. If this is going to get voted on next Tuesday. If it passes, we just received word today that Wale and Big Sean accepted our contract offer. Mike Posner, unfortunately, had to turn it down because he has to study for exams as he's a student at Duke University. So we were able to get clips as an alternative to Mike Posner, which Abhishek and I felt were favorable. Without that addition of clips, we weren't sure if we were going to go forward with it.